evening on the World News Tonight. First, the headlines. Ministerial screening. Senate begins confirmation hearing of El-Rufai. Orders. NLC insists on going ahead with protests. Tribunal reserves judgment in petition against Tinubu's victory. Abdulrazak, okay, 10,000 naira support for Kwara students. Zulum target 1.8 million vulnerables for fresh palliatives. And sports, glad to make my World Cup debut Monday. My name is Maureen Rabila Lawal. The news shortly. The Senate will on Tuesday screen the remaining ministerial nominees transmitted to it by President Bola Tinubu. The upper legislative chamber commenced the exercise on Monday and scrutinized 14 out of the 28 nominees using resumes which were earlier submitted. The Senate is expected to screen Uche Naji, Doris Uzoka, David Umai, Ali Pate, Nasser El-Rufai, Ahmed Dengiwa, and Natu Musawa, Latif Fagbemi, and Mohammed Idris. Others include Eperipe Eko, Stella Okotete, Dele Alake, Wale Edun, and Wahid Adelabu. Meanwhile, the upper legislative chamber screened Abubakar Momo, Yesom Wike, Joseph Utsef, Abubakar Yari, John Eno, and Abubakar Badaru. Others screened are Yusuf Tugar, Sani Landadi, Uju Kennedy Ohaneye, Olubumi Tunji Ojo, Inkiruka Oyeje Ocha, Beta Edu, and Imam Suleiman Ibrahim. Rising from another round of meeting of the Steering Committee on Palliatives at the Presidential Villa Abuja, they also expressed doubt about President Bola Tinubu's ability to control inflation and gasoline price due to the unification of the exchange rate. Speaking to correspondent, the president of the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, Joe Ajaero, said the plan for workers to proceed on a peaceful protest from Wednesday has not changed. He dismissed fears that a peaceful protest could be hijacked by hoodlums, saying that such had never happened in the issue of workers' protests. However, he said it is the responsibility of security agencies to provide security for the protest to protect the workers. He said a meeting of the Steering Committee adjourned till 12 noon on Tuesday to enable the Labour leaders to listen to the President's national broadcast on Monday. However, reacting to Tinubu's plan to intervene on exchange rate over inflation and high cost of gasoline prices, Ajaero said, by the time you have a single market and you're not having anything that has a comparative advantage, your energy is import-driven, then how are you going to control it? How are you going to control something and somebody that exchange dollar at about 900 naira? Are you going to tell him to sell below the price? Are you going to tell them, even NEPA today, with the cost of production not to increase tariff? Even corn in the villages that was sold at 18,000 naira by February, now it's about 56,000 naira. On his side, the chief of staff to the president said the issues were trashed at the closed-door meeting and that they adjourned to listen to the president's broadcast. He also said the government is dealing with the oil cabals that have brought the economy to its knees. We have been locked behind a couple of hours. We had a good meeting. Issues were trashed out on the situation in Nigeria today in terms of issues centered around government intervention on the situation in the country.
In Lagos, the Lagos State Council of the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) and civil society groups at a press briefing say they are ready for the planned nationwide protest scheduled for August 2nd, 2023.
To proceed on a nationwide protest rally, which will commence on August 2nd, bearing any last-minute changes, we are still committed to our national body's instruction and agreement. It's a joint effort, and in Lagos State, our own will not be a difference.
The Deputy Secretary General of NLC, Ismail Bello, declares that Labour is ready for further dialogue as previous meetings did not record any progress. During the meeting, the Labour Centre reiterated the stand of workers, which is the removal of anti-people policies.
In this place, the union is ready. Labour is ready. Government doesn't seem to be ready for dialogue. To dialogue means there is willingness to respect the content of the agreement that you have reached with the other party. We had an agreement on a complement of issues the last time we met at the villa. To the extent that government will provide mass transportation that is powered by CNG, which is a more cost-effective alternative.
Who are those people doing bunkering? Is it not the same ruling elite? Who are those people engaging in theft? Is this not the same ruling elite? They should not push us to extreme. And that is one reason on Wednesday, all of us must gather. We must move forward and tell government of the day that this country belongs to all of us.
The Presidential Election Petitions Court has reserved judgment in the petition by the People's Democratic Party, PDP, presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar to challenge the outcome of the February 25th presidential election. A five-member of justice led by Justice Aruna Tsamani said the date would be communicated to parties. Earlier, the court observed the adoption of final written addresses by parties in the petition against the victory of President Bola Tinubu, candidate of the All Progressive Congress APC. Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak has directed the payment of 10,000 naira each to students of Kwara origin in public-owned tertiary institutions. The governor has also approved a stipend of 10,000 naira each for some categories of security agents, defined as a fourth line of defense, which would be disbursed through the Kwara State Social Investment Program (KWASIP) office. The approval for student support, described as one-off in its scope, is a departure from the previous bursary award, which covered only final students of tertiary schools. The governor had raised bursary award from the age-long 5,000 naira to 10,000 naira for final year students. The special support will be coordinated by a government committee to be headed by Professor Sheikh Rahim Adaramaja, chairman of the Kwara State Universal Basic Education Board. It will be supported by officials from the Ministry of Tertiary Institution, Bursary Department, Ministry of Finance, and a representative each from the National Association of Kwara State Students, NACS, and National Association of Nigerian Students, NAS, in Kwara State. The committee will publish a web link through which all students eligible for a state bursary would apply for the support within dates to be announced, filling the required information and documents. Borno State Governor Babagana Umaru Zulum has flagged off a fresh phase of palliative which is targeted about 300,000 households with about 6 persons per household to reach 1.8 million persons in need. Zulum launched the distribution on Tuesday at Muna IDP camps in Jere local government area. The governor explained that Borno started the initial distribution of palliative about 1 month ago, while scaling up the exercise to key into Presidential Food Emergency Declaration. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has recently declared an emergency on food security across the country in compliance with the declaration and to complement federal government's efforts to alleviate the suffering caused by fuel subsidy removal. We have since rolled out a palliative distribution initiative targeting 300,000 households, Zulum said. He also noted that the initial distribution of palliatives was conducted in Goza in 3 communities in Kukawa LGA, which include Baga, Kroskawa, and Doro Baga. The governor added that the initiative is aimed at reducing the hardship occasioned by the fuel subsidy removal for average 300,000 most vulnerable families. Under the initiative, each eligible beneficiary received 5,000 naira cash, a bag of rice, a bag of beans, and 1 wrapper for women. Zulum emphasized that his administration will prioritize the welfare of people and ensure that all measures are put in place to alleviate the hardship faced by the citizens. The governor urged citizens to give maximum support to the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, stating that the hardship resulting from the fuel subsidy removal is temporary. Meanwhile, Governor Zulum on Tuesday distributed 400 houses to vulnerable IDPs from 5 communities displaced by Boko Haram insurgents. The communities are Meibokatari, Jiptere, and Minari Shua, Mainari Kanuri, and Tilori. The 400 houses are sited at a resettlement estate constructed by Borno State Ministry of Reconstruction, Rehabilitation and Resettlement. During a brief ceremony, Governor Zulum also shared resettlement packages to the 400 households allotted the houses. Each household got rice, maize grain, mats, wrapper, and cash support. Meanwhile, Governor Zulum on Tuesday distributed these items to people in the area. And during a brief ceremony, Governor Zulum also shared some palliative measures each household got right. Borno State has been at the center of insurgency for more than a decade, but with recent victory by the Nigerian military, Borno State government was able to return more than 1 million displaced persons to the newly built resettlement houses and reconstructed communities. The Acting Inspector General of Police, Egbetokun, has warned members of the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) and the Trade Union Congress (TUC) over their planned protest scheduled for Wednesday. Information report that the unions had planned a nationwide protest against the removal of fuel subsidy by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. However, Egbetokun warned that although he is mindful of the right to peaceful protest, the police would not allow any violent rallies. In a statement signed by the Force Public Relations Officer, Muyiwa Adejobi, the IGP urged all parties involved to ensure that the planned demonstrations are conducted peacefully to prevent being hijacked by miscreants, especially in major cosmopolitan areas. According to the statement, the IGP ordered the Commissioners of Police and Supervisory Assistant Inspectors General of Police to engage in fruitful discussions with the leadership of the labor unions to foster understanding and reach common grounds on planned protests. Adejobi quoted the IGP as saying that a peaceful and coordinated approach is crucial to preventing any form of violence or disruptions to public order should the protest persist. He said the police are committed to ensuring the safety and security of citizens during the protest, noting that all necessary measures to facilitate the peaceful conduct of the demonstrations have been put in place. However, it is hereby reaffirmed that any attempt by miscreants to exploit the situation for violence purposes, vice versa vandalism, gangsterism, and extortion will be met with a firm, professional, and commensurate lawful approach. The police will not tolerate any acts that threatens the peace and well-being of our country, the statement emphasized.
2nd of August 2023, and the IGP has said it clearly that there is no room for any violent protest in Nigeria. He has ordered for watertight security across the country while appealing for calm from all angles in Nigeria. The Acting Inspector General of Police, Federal Republic of Nigeria, IGP Kayode, that they will be able to complete PM, is deeply concerned about recent development regarding planned nationwide protests by the Nigerian Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress. While being mindful of the right to peaceful protest, as enshrined in our Constitution, the IGP urges all parties involved to ensure that the planned demonstrations are conducted in a peaceful manner to prevent being attacked by miscreants. Owing to the previous ugly experiences of such protests in most major cosmopolitan cities in the country, the IGP, however, acknowledges the grievances raised.
The Apex Igbo Socio-Cultural Organization, or Aneze Ndibo Worldwide, has urged Igbos to stop obeying the sit-at-home order by the factional leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Simon Ekpa. Aneze, the Igbos to go about their lawful economic activities. This is contained in a statement by Ohanese's Joint President General Emmanuel Nwayawu on Monday. Mr. Nwayawu, while condemning the incessant full sit-at-home order in the southeast by Mr. Ekpa, estimated that more than 250 people in the region had lost their lives by enforcing the order. The Ohanese leader said it was disheartening that Igbos are subjected to hardship due to the sit-at-home order and stressed that several non-state actors, in an attempt to enforce the order, had unleashed mayhem on the people. Mr. Nwayawu described the situation as unfortunate. He said Southeast was not for micro, small and medium-scale enterprises, indigenous manufacturing, fabrication, and agro-allied industries. According to him, several authorities have put their losses encountered by Igbos in Southeast at trillions of naira. Each day, the sit-at-home order was enforced. The Southeast has witnessed loss of clients and customers who find alternatives because of the unstable business environment in the zone. Food transporters to the Southeast charge more for a trip to Igbo land because of these sit-at-home orders, the statement stressed. A 47-year-old man identified at God St. James has been arrested by the Ondo State Police Command. The man was nabbed for allegedly killing a police officer along Ifo Benin Road in Ose, LGA of the state. Funmilayo Odulami, spokesperson of the command, said the suspect was fleeing from police along the roof. He said the officers had been alerted of a crime he committed in Akure, the state capital, before he killed the policeman. However, the suspect, while being paraded at the headquarters of the command in Akure, said he killed a criminal in self-defense, not a police officer. The man requested he needed a cash sum of 6 million naira, but he was only able to get a cash sum of 4 million naira from her under the pretense that he will send the money back through bank transfer, but failed to do so. However, the complainant later called him and kept giving excuses. She was able to trace him to Dejovu Hotel, Alabaka, together with some of her relatives, but the said man found a way to escape in his own car. In the process, they had to pursue him with another vehicle, but later turned back after a series of phone calls threats from the man. To foreign story. France prepared to evacuate French and other European citizens from Niger on Tuesday, 6 days after a coup that toppled one of the last pro-Western leaders in the jihadist plot Sahel and stoked anti-French demonstrations. President Mohamed Bazoum was overthrown on July 26 by his own guard in the region's third putsch in as many years following takeovers in neighboring Mali and Burkina Faso. After hostile crowds gathered on Sunday outside the French embassy and Niger accused France of plotting to intervene militarily, Paris said Tuesday it would withdraw its citizens and offered to evacuate other Europeans as well. In the face of a deteriorating security situation in Niamey and taking advantage of the relative calm in Niamey, an operation of evacuation by air is being prepared, the embassy said in a message sent to French citizens. The evacuations will take place very soon in a very limited span of time, it said. The foreign ministry in Paris later said the evacuations will begin later on Tuesday today. There are an estimated 600 French nationals in Niger, not counting visiting tourists or French residents currently outside the country. The West African bloc ECOWAS on Sunday slapped sanctions on Niger and warned it may use force as it gave the coup leaders a week to reinstate Bazoum. The following day, the junta accused France of seeking to intervene militarily, a charge withdrawal a French denial, while the junta ruled Mali and Burkina Faso, warned any military intervention in Niger will be a declaration of war against them. Finally, on sports. Super Falcons striker Gift Monday has expressed gladness after making a FIFA Women's World Cup debut in a 0-0 draw with Ireland on Monday. Monday was substituted for star player Aziza Tushola in the 66th minute at the ongoing World Cup. She almost made an assist in added time as she took on several Irish players before passing the ball to Rashida Tajibade, who fired a rather team effort at Ireland goalkeeper Neil Brosnan. However, the Group B game finished scoreless after 97 minutes, with Nigeria qualifying in second place to the round of 16. Monday took to a personal Twitter handle to express her delight. Monday scored 3 goals and 3 assists in 19 Premier Division games for Granadilla Tenerife last season. The Super Falcons will play the first place team in Group D in the round of 16 stage on August 7th. With our sports story, we've come to the end of today's world news from BGI TV Currents. Before we go, some headlines. Ministerial screening, Senate begins confirmation hearing of El Rufai orders. NLC insists on going ahead with protests. We also brought to you Tribunal reserves judgments in petition against Tinubu's victory. Abdulrazak OK's 10,000 Naira support for Kwara students. Finally on sport, glad to make my World Cup debut, Gift Monday, sir. For more updates of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is BGI TV Currents. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell, select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawi Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. Thank you for watching. I am Molvive Rabila Lawan. Good evening.